Shalom, Dog here once again with your weekly drash. This is going to be 3 Parashot in a row. Remember when I was supposed to do 39 and 40 together, but 40 was so long now, well, we have to cover 41, 42, 43. Okay, this puts us at the end of Numbers and puts us into Deuteronomy. So basically, we're good. It takes us out of the Midbar and puts us into Devarim. Had a long day today. It was a nice, long, beautiful day. Nice, warm, sunny day, but yeah, had a long day today. Had a long past couple of years, but that's a whole different video for you. So we're going to start off with Parashah 41, Pinchas or Phinehas. This is chapter 25, verse 10, verse 2 through chapter 30, verse 1. And, well, basically, if you believe in this fake Palestinian thing and everything like that, this sets the record straight, okay? Sorry, all you people from the fake nation of Palestine, okay? You are not a nation. This is not your land. And we're going to prove it here. I mean, the creator of the universe usurps everybody's law. Yahweh said to Moshe, the land is to be parceled out among these as a possession to be inherited according to the number of names to those families with more possessions. You are to give a greater inheritance. And to those with fewer, you are to give a smaller inheritance. Each family's inheritance is to be given according to the number counted in it. However, the land is to be awarded by lot. They will inherit according to the names of the tribes of their ancestors. Okay, you got that? Okay, if you call yourself a Palestinian, if the name of your ancestor is not mentioned in here, then you're SOL. So, but the inheritance is to be parceled out by lot between the families with more and those with fewer. Those counted among the Levi or the Levi by their families were of Gershon, the family of Gershoni, of Kehat, the family of Kehati, and of Merari. The family of the Merari, these are the families of Levi or Levi. The family of Levini, the family of Hebroni, the family of Malachi, the family of Mushi, the family of Korhi. Kehat was the father of Amram. The name of Amram's wife was Yocheved, the daughter of Levi, or Levi, if you want to say it that way, who was born to Levi in the desert. And she bore to Amram Aharon, Moshe and their sister Miriam. To Aharon there born Nadav, Avihu, Eleazar, and Itamar. But Nadav and Avihu died when they offered unauthorized fire before Yahweh. Those males 1 month old or more counted of the Levi were 23,000. These were not included in the census of the people of Israel because no land for inheritance was given to them among the people of Israel. These are the ones counted by Moshe and Eleazar the Cohen, who took a census of the people of Israel in the plains of Moab by the Yarden across from Jericho. But there was not a man among them who had also been included in the census of Moshe and Aharon the Cohen when they enumerated the people of Israel in the Sinai desert, because Yahweh had said of them, they will surely die in the desert. So there was not left one of them except for Caleb the son of Yefuneh and Yehoshua the son of Nun. Okay, so all you Palestinian dreamers out there, if none of these names are ringing a bell of your ancestry or anything, guess what? You have no claim on Eretz Yisrael. Then the daughters of Zolaf, Chad, the son of Hafer, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Menashe, and of the families of Menashe, the son of Joseph, approached. These were the names of his daughters: Machlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They stood in front of Moshe, Eleazar the Cohen, the leaders in the whole community at the entrance to the tent of meeting, and said, our father died in the desert. He wasn't part of the group who assembled themselves to rebel against Yahweh and Korach's group, but he died in his own sin. He had no sons. Why should the name of our father be eliminated from his family just because he didn't have a son? Give us property to possess along with the brothers of our father. Moshe brought their cause before Yahweh. Okay, so all of you Muslims out there who just don't want women to have any kind of rights or anything like that, guess what? The creator of the universe has something more to say about that, okay? Sorry if I'm being antagonistic, but it's the truth, okay? Yahweh answered Moshe, the daughters of Zelophehad are right in what they say. You must give them property to be inherited along with that of their father's brothers. Have what their father would have inherited to pass to them. Moreover, say to the people of Israel, if a man dies and does not have a son, you are to have his inheritance passed to his daughter. If he doesn't have a daughter, give his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brothers, give his inheritance to his father's brothers. If his father doesn't have brothers, give his inheritance to the closest relative in his family, and he will possess it. This will be the standard for judgment to be used by the people of Israel, as Yahweh ordered Moshe. Okay, so basically, women have property rights. Women have all kinds of rights. Stays within the tribes of Yisrael. And if you're not counted among the tribes of Yisrael, Palestinians and Palestinians or whatever the hell you want to call yourselves, then you don't count. Okay? You're actually encroaching on Israeli land now in the West Bank and Gaza and everything else, okay? And beyond. But we're not... That's another story for another time. Yahweh said to Moshe, climb this mountain in the Avarim range and look out on the land which I've given to the people of Israel. After you've seen it, you too will be gathered to your people, just as Aharon your brother was gathered. Because in the Zin desert, when the community was disputing with me, you rebelled against my order to uphold my holiness by means of the water, with them looking on. This was Merivah Kadesh, spring in the Zin desert. Moshe said to Yahweh, let Yahweh, God of the spirits of all human beings, appoint a man to be over the community, to go out and to come in ahead of them, to lead them out and bring them in, so that Yahweh's community will not be like sheep without a shepherd. Yahweh said to Moshe, take Yehoshua, the son of Nun, a spiritual man, lay your hand on him, put him in front of Eleazar the Cohen and the whole community, and commission him in their sight. Delegate to him some of your authority, so that the entire community of Israel will obey him. He is to present himself to Eleazar the Cohen, who is to find out by means of the Urim what Yahweh's will is for Yehoshua's decisions. Then, at his word, they will go out, and at his word they will come in, both he and all the people of Israel with him, the whole community. Moshe did as Yahweh had ordered him, and he took Yehoshua, put him before Eleazar the Cohen, and the whole community laid his hands on him and commissioned him, as Yahweh had said through Moshe. Now, there's a lot of people who are rising up and pinning the little star on their chest and saying, look at me, I'm a teacher. Look at me, I'm a teacher. Okay? And they will come out and tell you that they're teachers. They're Torah teachers and Torah scholars and everything else. Well, in order to be a leader of the people, you see that Yahweh has to be the one to basically appoint you, to bring you to that position. And he doesn't elevate you to that position. He brings you down to that position. Okay? He brings you down to that position because he will humble you. He will humble you beyond measure. And he will break your spirit and fill you with his spirit so that you do his will in leadership where he has put you. Okay? But there's so many people who are putting themselves into leadership and so many people who are doing what they want to do. Well, that doesn't fly with Yah. And you know, when the appropriate time comes, when the judgment comes, then these people they're going to be sad. They're going to be sorry. But now we're going to jump on to Parashah 42. This is Mattot, which means tribes. This is, chapter 30, verse 2 through chapter 32, verse 42. Okay, now this is usually read with Parashah 43, so that's what we're doing. So we're playing catch up with Parashah 41, and then we jump into Parashah 42 and 43, and then we get to stay current. Because in regular years, it's read with Parashah 43. This is not a leap year, so let's go on with it. Then Moshe spoke to the heads of the people of the tribes of the people of Israel. He said, "Here's what Yahweh has ordered. When a man takes a vow to Yahweh or formally obligates himself by swearing an oath, he is not to break his word, but is to do everything he said he would do." Okay? So if you went out and got drunk, you said, "Oh God," as you're hanging over the toilet, "I swear I'll never drink again." And then you go out the next weekend and start pounding the alcohol. Well, you just broke a promise to Yah. Okay? When a woman makes a vow to Yahweh, formally obligating herself while she is a minor living in her father's house, then, if her father has heard what she vowed or obligated herself to do and holds his peace, then all her vows remain binding. Every obligation she has bound herself to will stand. But if on the day her father hears it, he expresses his disapproval, then none of her vows or obligations she has bound herself to will stand. And Yahweh will forgive her because her father expressed his disapproval. Sorry, all you sexists out there, all you, women's libbers. Sorry, the creator of the universe usurps you also. I mean, no wonder why all these people, from all these groups hate Yah and they hate his word, because it goes against their flesh and what they want. If having made vows or rashly committed herself to an obligation, she gets married and her husband hears but holds his peace with her on the day she learns of it, then her vows and obligations she has bound herself to will stand. But if her husband expresses his disapproval on the day he hears it, he will void the vow which is on her and the obligation to which she has bound herself, and Yahweh will forgive her. See, the man has spiritual authority, okay? Especially to all you women out there who are calling yourselves teachers and just, hey, look at me. Nope, sorry. You have no authority over a man. Okay? According to Scripture. The vow of a widow, however, or of a divorcee, including everything to which she has obligated herself, will stand against her. If a woman vowed in her husband's house or obligated herself with an oath, then her husband heard it, but held his peace with her and did not express his disapproval, then all of her vows and obligations will stand. But if her husband makes them null and void on the day he hears them, then whatever she said, vows or binding or obligation, will not stand. Her husband has voided them, and Yahweh will forgive her. Her husband may let every vow and every binding obligation stand, or he may void it. But if her husband entirely holds his peace with her day after day, then he confirms all of her vows and obligations. He must let them stand, because he held his peace with her on the day he heard them. If he makes them null and void after he has heard them, he will bear the consequent guilt. So guys don't have a free ticket here, okay? Us guys, well, we have a lot more responsibility on us. We have a lot more on our shoulders. Maybe that's why Yah gave us broad shoulders. I don't know. But we are responsible for our families. We are responsible for our congregation. Basically our family is our congregation. So, we're responsible. So anything that we do that affects our family, well, then we have to face judgment for whatever decisions we made. Okay? Whether it was to void out and make null and void the, the vow of the woman, the vow of the wife or the daughter or whatever, or whether or not it's, whatever decision we make as men, okay, we have to be held even more accountable for it. And I think my audio's screwing up. I just saw the thing hang up, so I might have to do some edits here. But these are the laws which Yahweh ordered Moshe between man and his wife, and between a father and his daughter, if she is a minor living in her father's house. Yahweh said to Moshe, on behalf of the people of Israel, take vengeance on the Midyanim. After that you'll be gathered to your people. Moshe said to the people, equip the men from among yourselves for war. They are to go and fight the Midian, in order to carry out Yahweh's vengeance on the Midian. You are to send to war 1,000 men from each and every one of Yisrael's tribes. So out of the thousands of people in Yisrael, 1,000 armed men from each tribe, 12,000 altogether, were mustered for war. Moshe sent them, 1,000 from each tribe, to the war. He sent them and Pinchas, the son of Eleazar, the Cohen, to the war, with the holy utensils and the trumpets for sounding the alarm in his care. Notice it says trumpets and not shofar. They fought against the Midian, as Yahweh had ordered Moshe, and killed every male. They killed the kings of Midian along with the others who were slain, Avi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, Reva, the 5 kings of Midian. They also killed Bileam, the son of Beor, with the sword. Notice, he tried to, bring curses onto Yisrael. The people of Yisrael took captive the women of Midian and their little ones. And they took as booty all their cattle, flocks, and other goods. They set fire to all their cities in their area where they lived and all their camps. They took all the booty, all the people and animals they had captured, and brought the captives, booty, and spoil to Moshe, Eleazar the Cohen, and the community of Yisrael in the camp of the plains of Moab by the Yarden across from Jericho. Moshe, Eleazar, and the Cohen and the community leaders went out to meet them outside the camp. But Moshe was angry with the army officers, the commanders of thousands, and the commanders of hundreds coming in from the battlefield. Moshe asked them, you let the women live? Why? These are the ones who, because of Bileam's advice, caused the people of Yisrael to rebel, breaking faith with Yahweh on the Peor incident, so that the plague broke out among Yahweh's community. Now kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman who has never slept with a man, or who has ever slept with a man. But the young girls who have never slept with a man, keep alive for yourselves. Now, see, a lot of people look at this as like heinous and just like, oh my goodness, why would he tell them to do this? And take the girls as booty and stuff like this. Why are they taking human beings? Well, these are not quite human beings. The Nephilim, they were fruitful and they multiplied and they spread out through this land, Yah's land, okay? And, you had all these hybrids up there and everything like that. The young girls, they're going to be raised, according to Torah and everything else, they're going to be under the authority of whatever men that are in their lives, okay? But as far as the little boys, and as far as the men and the women who slept with men, the women who slept with men have bad seed spilled in them, basically. And, the men don't want them to have any kind of authority in Yah's community. So the only ones that you could take are the young girls. And basically, like I said, they're going to be raised up as servants and everything like that, maybe married off or whatever. Okay, but they're going to be raised under men's authority, and they're going to be raised under Torah, okay, which basically gives them an opportunity to have everlasting life. But Yahweh said to Moshe, take all the booty, both people and animals, you, Eleazar the Cohen, the leaders of the clans of the community, and divide the booty into 2 parts, half for the experienced soldiers who went out to battle, and half for the rest of the community, from the portion of the soldiers who went out to battle. Levy a tax for Yahweh consisting of 1/500th of the persons, cattle, donkeys, and sheep, and take it from their half and give it to Eleazar the Cohen as a portion set apart for Yahweh. From the half that goes to the people of Israel, you are to take 1/50th of the persons and of the cattle, donkeys, and sheep, that is, of all the livestock. Notice how the people taken up in this raid are basically counted among the livestock. Yah does value human life. This tells you it's not quite human life, okay? And give them to the Levi'im, taking care of the tabernacle of Yahweh, Moshe and Eleazar the Cohen did as Yahweh had ordered Moshe. The booty over and above the portion which the soldiers took came to be 675,000 sheep, 72,000 cattle, 61,000 donkeys, and 32,000 persons in all, consisting of the women who had never slept with a man. So basically, Yah has blessed them with abundance of wealth here. Okay, not only coming out of Egypt and pilfering Egypt, but also, when you had this many heads of, livestock, you're beyond wealthy. Okay? The half which the portion of the soldiers who went out to fight numbered 337,500 sheep, of which Yahweh's tribute was 675,000. 675. 36,000 cattle, of which Yahweh's tribute was 72. 30,500 donkeys, of which Yahweh's tribute was 61. And 16,000 persons, of whom Yahweh's tribute was 32 persons. Moshe gave the tribute set apart for Yahweh to Eleazar the Cohen, as Yahweh had ordered Moshe. From the half that went out to the people of Israel, which Moshe separated from that of the men who had gone to fight, now the community's half consisted of 337,500 sheep, 36,000 cattle, 30,500 donkeys, and 16,000 persons. From the people of Israel's half, Moshe took 1/50 of the persons and animals and gave them to the Levi'im, taking care of the tabernacle of Yahweh, and as Yahweh had ordered Moshe. I mean, even in today's standards, if you had that many heads of livestock, you are a wealthy person. Even in today's standards. Okay? You're going to be sitting rather pretty with all that livestock. The officers in charge of the thousands who fought, the commanders of thousands and the commanders of hundreds, approached Moshe and said to him, "Your servants have counted all the soldiers under our command, and not one of us is missing. We have brought an offering for Yahweh, what every man has obtained in the way of gold, jewelry, armlets, bracelets, signet rings, earrings, and belts, to make atonement for ourselves before Yahweh." Moshe and Eleazar the Cohen accepted their gold, all of the jewelry, all of the gold in this gift, which the commanders of thousands and the commanders of hundreds set apart for Yahweh, weighed 420 pounds, for the soldiers had taken booty, every man for himself. Moshe and Eleazar the Cohen took the gold from the commanders of thousands and hundreds and brought it into the tent of meeting as a reminder for the people of Israel before Yahweh. So, I mean, just think of the gold. Just think of the massive wealth. Okay? I mean, this is what happens when you actually partake in the terms of the covenant, which is the Torah commands. When you partake in this out of love and out of faith for Yah, okay, Yah will rain down blessings on you. Might not happen when you want it to happen, but it will happen. Okay? And you see, they had to wait 40 years before it happened, but now you see it's just opening up and it's just coming down on them. The descendants of Reuben and the descendants of Gad had vast quantities of livestock. When they saw that the land of Yazar and the land of Gilead were good for livestock, the descendants of Gad and of Reuben came and spoke to Moshe, Eleazar the Cohen, and the community leaders. They said, "Atarot Ivan, Yazir Nimra, Heshbon, Elahe, Savam, Nevo, and Be'ion, the country that Yahweh conquered before the community of Israel, is livestock country, and your servants have livestock. If you regard us favorably, then," they went on, "let this land be given to your servants as their possession, and don't have us cross the Jordan." So basically, they didn't want to cross the Jordan. They basically had a little taste of this greatness that Yah had planned for them, and, well, they didn't even want the promised land. But Moshe answered the descendants of Gad, or Gad, whatever, and Reuben, "Are your brothers to go to war while you stay here? Besides, why are you trying to discourage the people of Israel from crossing in the land Yahweh gave them? This is what your fathers did when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land where for when they went up to the Eshcol Valley and saw the land, they disheartened the people of Israel so that they wouldn't enter the land Yahweh had given them. Yahweh's anger blazed up on that day, and he swore, none of the people aged 20 or more came out of Egypt, or who came out of Egypt will see the land I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, because they haven't followed me unreservedly, except Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Kenizi and Yehoshua the son of Nun, because they have followed Yahweh unreservedly. So basically, we see a somewhat of a mutiny happening here, or at least starting to brew up here. But, Moshe had to just basically say, well, look what Yah did back here. Do you want this to happen again? Are you sure? I mean, he did give it to you, and he will take it away from you. I mean, that's what we need to do. We need to go into the scriptures and say, well, Yah did this when people did this. Yah did that when people did that. And, well, we look at today. People haven't changed. Technology has, but people haven't. Okay? So, when people do this, we look back to then and we say, well, yeah, this is coming because Yah did it once before. He's going to do it again, except for the flood. Okay? But basically, let's get back here. Thus Yahweh's anger blazed against Israel, so that he made them wander here and there in the desert for 40 years, until all the generation that had done evil in the sight of Yahweh had died out. Now you, another brood of sinners, have arisen in your father's place to increase still more fierce anger from Yahweh toward Israel. For if you turn away from him, he will leave them in the desert again, and thus you will cause the destruction of all of these people. But they came up to him and said, here, we will build enclosures for our livestock and cities for our little ones, but we ourselves will be armed and ready for action to march at the head of the people of Israel until we have brought them into their place. Our little ones will stay in the fortified cities here because of the people now living in the land. However, we will not return to our own homes until every man in Israel has taken possession of his land for inheritance. We will not have an inheritance with them on the other side of the Jordan, westward, because our inheritance has fallen to us on this side of the Jordan, eastward. Moshe said to them, if you'll do this, and you will arm yourselves to go before Yahweh to the war, and if every one of your soldiers will cross the Jordan before Yahweh until he has driven out the enemies ahead of him, and if the land has been conquered before Yahweh, and only after that do you return, then you will be clear before Yahweh and before Yisrael. And this land here will be yours to possess before Yahweh. See, they didn't quite have the land yet. They just wanted to keep it. They did the right thing by going to Moshe first. Or else it could have been a catastrophe. But if you will not do this, and you have sinned against Yahweh, and you must understand that your sin will find you out. Build cities for your little ones and enclosures for your sheep, and then do what you said you would do. Okay, that goes right back to the vows. Okay, you make a vow, you carry through. So making a vow to Moshe is basically like making a vow to Yah. Okay, because Yah gave nobody during this time period the authority that he gave to Moshe. Okay, I mean, he gave Yehoshua some of the authority. Okay, that's why I emphasize some of the authority. Okay, so going to Moshe and asking for his counsel is basically like going to Yah himself. Okay, the two are connected, like a conduit, or like a plug or something. I mean, they're echad, they're one. I mean, there's no other way to explain it. The descendants of Gad, the descendants of Reuben, said to Moshe, your servants will do as my Lord orders. Our little ones, wives, flocks, and all of our livestock will be there in the cities of Gilead, but your servants will cross over, every man armed for war, before Yahweh to do battle, as my Lord says. So Moshe gave orders concerning them to Eleazar the Cohen, Yehoshua the son of Nun, and the clan leaders of the tribes of the people of Israel. Moshe said to them, if the descendants of Gad and of Reuben cross over the Jordan with you, every man armed for battle before Yahweh, and if the land is conquered before you, then you are to give them the land of Gilead as theirs to possess. But if they do not cross with you armed. They are to possess land along with you in Canaan. The descendants of Gad and Reuben answered, we will do as Yahweh has said to your servants. We will cross over into the land of Canaan, armed before Yahweh, and the land we will possess for inheritance will be on this side of the Yarden, or the Jordan River. So basically, they found this wonderful land, and it's like, well, I don't want to thumb my nose at Yah, so I'm still, I'd like to have this land, but I'm gonna make sure my brothers are doing okay. I got their back here, I'm gonna take care of them. At first, they were not really thinking that, but Moshe let them know, okay, well, let me flip back here. Yeah, you see where it's written here? Yeah, where Yah did this and this and this. You want that to happen again? So Moshe gave the descendants of Gad, Reuben, and also the half-tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sichon, king of the Amori, and the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, the country and its cities within its borders, along with their surrounding towns. The descendants of Gad built Divan, Atarot, Aroer, Atrot Shofan, Yazer, Yogbeha, Beit Nimrah, Beit Haran, fortified cities, and also enclosures for sheep. The descendants of Reuben built Heshbon, Elaheh, Kiryatim, Neavo, Baal Meon. Well, they have Baal Meon there, or Baal Meon, which is not good. These names have been changed, and Sivma, they renamed the cities that they built. The descendants of Machir, the son of Manasseh, went to Gilead and conquered it, dispossessing the Amori who were there. Okay, now, haven't really lost you Palestinians yet, I hope, or you so-called Palestinians, because this is basically telling who owns the land that you want, okay? Moshe gave Gilead to Machir, the son of Manasseh, and he lived in it. Yair, the son of Manasseh, went out and captured its villages and called them Havot Yair, villages of Yair. Novak went and captured Keanat with its villages and named it Novak after himself. Okay, that's it for Parashah 42, and it's a lot of reading and everything like that. And with the transliterated Hebrew, it's difficult for me to read, but basically that covers who owns the land, okay? I mean, all the disputes are over now in my book, Of course, they've always been over in my book, but, this is proof here, okay? If you don't believe the creator of the universe when he says this belongs to you, and whatever, this is your land to possess, well, then you're against him. And if you're against him, you're not going to do so well. But now we go to Parashah 43. This is Masa'ei, which means stages. This is chapter 33, verse 1, through chapter 36, verse 13. Okay? And like I said, regular years, it's read with Parashah 42. So let's just get into this. My equipment is humming. I already had to stop this recording once and let my computer cool down a little bit and calm down, because, I just keep watching my audio here to make sure it's recording, and it started screwing up. So basically, I'm going to just try to get right through this here. But Yahweh told Moshe to give this order to the people of Israel when you enter the land of Canaan. It will become your land to pass on as inheritance, the land of Canaan as inheritance. You get that? Okay, generation to generation. The land of Canaan as divided, or defined by these borders. Your southern portion will extend from the Zin Desert. Okay, all you so-called Palestinians out there, listen closely. These are the true borders of Israel. Okay, from the Zin Desert, close to the border of Edom, the eastern terminus of your southern border is at the end of the Dead Sea. From there, your border goes south of the Akrabim ascent, and passes on to the Zin. From there, it goes south of Kadesh Barnea, on to Hazar Adar, and then on to Atzimon. And then the border turns and goes from Atzmon to the Valley of Egypt, and along it to the sea. Your western border will be the Great Sea. Your northern border will be as follows. From the Great Sea, mark a line to Mount Hor. And from Mount Hor, mark a line to the entrance of Hamat. The border goes out to Zedad, and then the border goes to Ziphron, and finally to Hatzar, Enan, and then this is your northern border. Like I said, I have a problem with transliterated. If it was actually written in real Hebrew, then maybe I should change it to real Hebrew for future readings here. But I have a problem with the transliterated because of the punctuation put into it and everything. It sort of confuses things a little bit for the eyes, you know. If you notice, I'm not wearing my glasses. They're upstairs. For the eastern border, mark your line from Hazar Ayin to Shepham. Then the border goes down from Shepham to Rivla on the east side of Ayin, and then down until it hits the slope of the east of Lake Kinneret. From there, it goes down to the Yarden River until it flows to the Dead Sea. These will be the borders of your land. So basically, it's right here in the final Parashah of Numbers. So if you want to read it, those are the borders of Yisrael. Okay. So we have a lot of Arabs who are trespassing on Israeli property. Moshe gave this order to the people of Yisrael. This is a land in which you are to receive inheritances by lot, which Yahweh is ordered to give to the 9 tribes and the half-tribe. The tribe of the descendants of Reuben have already received their land for inheritance according to their clans. And so have the descendants of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh. These 2.5 tribes have received their inheritance on the side of the Yarden across from Jericho and eastward toward the sunrise. Yahweh said to Moshe, these are the names of the men who will take possession of the land for you. Eleazar the Cohen and Yehoshua the son of Nun. Also appoint 1 leader from each tribe to take possession of the land. The names of these men are, from the tribe of Yehuda, Caleb the son of Yephuneh. From the tribe of descendants of Shimon, Shemuel the son of Amihud. From the tribe of Benjamin, Eladad the son of Kison. And from the tribe of the descendants of Dan, the leader Buki, the son of Yogli. From the descendants of Joseph, from the tribe of the descendants of Manasseh, a leader, Haniel, the son of Ephod. From the tribe of the descendants of Ephraim, a leader, Kemuel, the son of Shiftan. From the tribe of the descendants of Zivlin, a leader, Elitzaphan, the son of Parnach. From the tribe of descendants of Issachar, the leader, Paltiel, the son of Azan. From the tribe of the descendants of Asher, a leader, Achihud, the son of Shlomi. From the tribe of the descendants of Naphtali, a leader, Pedalel, the son of Amihud. These are the ones whom Yahweh ordered to divide the inheritance among the people of Israel in the land of Canaan. So, if you don't have those names, I know I probably butchered them, but if you don't have those names in your family history and your ancestry and everything, just, go off to Iraq or something, just go over there. That's where your people are, okay? That's Babylon. In the plains of Moab, by the Yarden across from Jericho, Yahweh said to Moshe, order the people of Israel to give to the Leviim cities to live in from the heritage they will possess, and you are also to give the Leviim some of the open land surrounding the cities. They are to have the cities to live in, while their open land will be for their livestock, for growing crops, and for all their animals. The open land around the cities you give to the Leviim is to commence at a line drawn around the city wall 1,500 feet outside it, and is to extend outward from there. Measure 3,000 feet outward from the city wall to the east, south, west, and north, with the city in the center. The space between the 1,500-foot line and the 3,000-foot line will be their open land around the cities. The cities you give to the Leviim are to be the 6 cities of refuge to which you permit the person who kills someone to flee to, plus an additional 42 cities. Thus you will give the Levi'im 48 cities with their surrounding open land. As to the cities you will give from those the people of Israel to possess. From the many you will take many, and from the few you will take few. Each tribe will contribute from its cities to the Levi'im in accordance with the size of its inheritance. So basically, the Levi'im, it's basically a governmental center. It's Yah's government. Basically, he set up his government. The Levi'im are basically the mayors of each city. And they have to collect basically the tax, or basically what's being paid to Yah. Okay, so you get an idea of this, and none of this is of Islam. Sorry, none of this is from the Babylonians or the Arab people. Sorry. Yahweh said to Moshe, tell the people of Israel, when you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, you are to designate for yourself cities that will be cities of refuge for you, to which anyone who kills someone by mistake can flee. These cities are to be a refuge for you from the dead person's next of kin, who might otherwise avenge his kinsman's death by slaying the killer prior to his standing trial before the community. In regard to the cities you are to give, there are to be 6 cities of refuge for you. You are to give 3 cities east of the Jordan and 3 cities in the land of Canaan, and they will be cities of refuge. These 6 cities will serve as a refuge for the people of Israel, as well as for the foreigner and resident alien with them, so that anyone who kills someone by mistake may flee there. Well, resident alien, now isn't that a good idea? Why don't we take, parts of these big national parks and actually build a wall around it, let all these illegal aliens live in the United States, only, within those walls. Makes sense? However, if he hits him with an iron implement and thus causes his death, he is a murderer. The murderer must be put to death. Or if he hits him with a stone in his hand big enough to kill someone, and he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer must be put to death. Or if he hits him with a wood utensil in his hand, capable of killing somebody, and he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer must be put to death. The next of kin avenger is to put the murderer to death himself. Upon meeting him, he is to put him to death. Likewise, if he shoves him out of hatred, or intentionally throws something at him, causing his death, or out of hostility strikes him with his hand, so that he dies, then the one who struck him must be put to death. He is a murderer. And the next of kin avenger is to put the murderer to death upon meeting him. But suppose he shoves him suddenly, but without hostility, or he throws something at him unintentionally. Like tossing a rock off the roof, and then all of a sudden, hey, oh, geez, guy's walking underneath and he gets hit in the head, and you didn't know anybody's down there. Well, that's throwing something, having him hit unintentionally. But suppose he shoves him suddenly, but without hostility, or if he throws something at him unintentionally, or without seeing him, being his enemy or seeking to harm him, he throws a stone big enough to cause death, the person dies, and the community is to judge between the one who struck him and the next of kin avenger in accordance with these rules. And the community is to save the killer from the next of kin avenger. Okay, so accidental death, that's manslaughter, basically. It's not premeditated or anything like that. It's not like a crime of passion, in the heat of passion, in the heat of the moment. Well, basically, even Yah says, hey, well, he made a mistake. Don't put him to death. The community is to return him to the city of refuge to which he fled, and he is to live there until the Kohen Hagadol, who or Kohen Hagadol, if you want to say it that way, who is anointed with holy oil, dies. And these guys could live to be 100 years old, so you might die before they do. But if the killer ever goes beyond the limits of the city of refuge he fled to, and the next of kin avenger finds him outside the city limits of the city of refuge, and the avenger kills the killer, he will not be guilty of the man's blood, because he must stay in the city of refuge until the death of the Kohen Hagadol. But after the death of the Kohen Hagadol, the killer may be returned to the land he owns. These things shall constitute your standard for judgment throughout all your generations, wherever you live. So that means it's still pertinent today. If anyone kills someone, the murderer is to be put to death upon the testimony of witnesses. But the testimony of only one witness will not suffice to cause a person to be put to death. Also, you are not to accept a ransom in lieu of the life of a murderer condemned to death. Rather, he must be put to death. Likewise, you are not to accept for someone who has fled the city of refuge a ransom. That would allow him to return to his land before the death of the Cohen. In this way, you will not defile the land in which you are living, for blood defiles the land, and in this land no atonement can be made for the blood shed in it except for the blood of him who shed it. So you, who are not to actually it says, no, you are not to defile the land in which you live, and in which I live. For I'll live among the people of Israel. Made it. I had 14 pages at 16 size fonts. Yeah, we made it. I don't know how many of you still sticking around hearing me now, but I'm glad you stuck with me. I mean, this is a marathon of just, doing all this stuff here. But basically, a lot of this stuff here that we've read today has to do with the laws that we live with also today. The laws of murder and manslaughter and stuff like that. Okay? Well, why is it people object totally and completely to Yah's laws, especially when, basically, we're reading our man-made laws in Yah's laws. Man-made laws, a lot of them came from man's laws, at least the core laws. Don't steal, don't murder, don't commit. There used to be adultery laws on the books, all these things. There's rules for unruly children. There's laws for that, and a child could be put in the detention home, so honor your father and your mother. There were laws, man-made laws that back these laws here, but we still get people that just don't want to obey Yah's laws. They say, no, that was done away with. We have no part of that. No. We're under a new covenant. Yeah, whoo, party disco. Yeah. But the fact is, they're already following Yah's laws for the most part. But, if they speak out against Yah's laws, and if they break even the least of them, okay, this is Matthew 5:18, I believe, or 18 or 19, but if they speak out against Yah's laws, and if they basically break even the least of his laws, well, then guess what? They're going to be considered least in the kingdom of heaven. And I've had a lot of people say to me, well, at least he'll be in the kingdom. Well, that's where the throne's at. Okay? That's where the throne of judgment is at. So yes, every person will go to the kingdom. Okay? And, it depends if you pass to the right or to the left. But everybody will be there for their judgment. Okay? You see? So everybody's going to go there. Whoever stays there is going to be a different story. All right? So, we're just about 48 minutes, 24 seconds right now. So, I'm probably going to cut some of this down and everything like that. I don't know. I did have that little malfunction with the audio program here. So, this is still a pretty stinking long video. It's going to take forever to render. So, just remember, seek first the kingdom of heaven, all of his righteousness, and all these things will be given unto you. Take care. I look forward to the next time. Oh, boy.